The world over, infrastructure is seen as the foundation upon which economies of countries, provinces, and cities are underpinned. In Africa, infrastructure investment is rapidly growing. South Africa is among the biggest investors of infrastructure, which plays out through its 9 provinces. KwaZulu-Natal is one of the thriving provinces with the biggest investment funneled towards infrastructure. According to KZN Treasury's 2025-26 budget allocation, 18.4 billion rands was designated for infrastructure. Of this, an amount of 10 billion rands was set aside for existing infrastructure work. This is how KZN is contributing to the country's 6.3 trillion rands annual GDP. Dr. Vish Govender, acting head of department for the KZN Public Works and Infrastructure Department, talks about the direct potential links between infrastructure development and the economy. KZN Public Works and Infrastructure's mandate is to build and deliver on schools, hospitals, roads, and bridges, among other projects. As Dr. Govender explains, KZN's economy is benefiting from the over 2,000 projects currently underway to the combined value of billions of rands. The department is also recently paid out 1 billion rands to unpaid contractors so that work at projects underway commences.
There's a direct nexus. And when I talk about nexus, I mean that if you arrive at a city and you see cranes, you will realize then there's something going on. But around those cranes, you will notice that there's activity. The city is bustling. There's jobs. There's employment. There's less crime. Everything of the spin-offs of having key infrastructure development. Now, when I talk about nexus, I mean that if you arrive in a city and everything is dead and there's no high-rise cranes, there's no buildings, there's no structures going up, one can definitely see that there's stagnation. Now, with infrastructure comes a lot of opportunities. Therefore, I'm saying there's a direct nexus. Those opportunities have a direct bearing on the GDP. There's a direct bearing on the economical output of the country. Now, we know very well that we sit with a high unemployment rate. We know very well that, like first world countries, we have been lagging behind in terms of infrastructure delivery. But there's numerous challenges as to why we have lagged behind. But if we have a department like the KwaZulu-Natal Department of Public Works at the forefront of infrastructure development and infrastructure delivery, you then have an economy that proliferates, where it exponentially grows instead of it depreciates, and where it gets into the issue of stagnation and then obviously decrease, and then you get unemployment rate that is increasing, crime, people don't have jobs, so they decide, listen, let's go into other negative issues or aspects that society is not happy with. So when I say a direct nexus, if you have a department that can produce quality, efficient infrastructure that is climate resilient, that's sustainable, and that is managed properly, automatically you have an economy that grows and proliferates through that. So the nexus is direct.
Infrastructure not only has the potential to boost the economy, but it has the ability to create a direct spin-off, such as job creation and skills development on the ground. One such project where this is taking place is at the Menzi High School in Umlazi Township. The school is one of the projects underway by KZN Public Works and Infrastructure, where a 42 million rands revamp is transforming it from dilapidated to a state-of-the-art learning facility with science laboratories, computer labs, indoor sports facilities, among other amenities. Trevor Mkhize is the Community Liaison Officer who tells us about the work opportunities the project has delivered to the community.
The project is most abantu, especially youth, yala emphakathini awuthet izosala certificate carpentry, bricklaying na plumbing.
Trevor, bithini percentage community involvement kule project?
Kade kuthiwa kuzoba khona abantu abawu-40, kwathiwa especially kufanele kuba 60% abantu besifazane, 40% abantu besilisa, bese kuba nabantu abana-disability. Sibatholile kaba-2 abasebenzayo, abapendayo, lezi zinto nje lezi ngadinga ukuphakamisa amandla.
Investment in the infrastructure sector does not only have economic benefits, but as Lihle Bengu, a qualified construction professional whose company constructs buildings and roads, explains, it also helps attract international investors.
The country that does not have good infrastructure, it gives bad signal to the international. Basically, when you invest in the infrastructure right now, that means you're investing in the kids. They would be able to know that they need to learn, and so that they can manage and maintain what is being built at the moment. And also, when we are able to manage and maintain what we have, it also attracts the international investors. They come and invest. When they invest in something, then that means more professionals are built going forward. So we'll never have a lack of civil engineer, a lack of a quantity surveyor, a lack of a structural engineer. So that will be a continuous thing that will help us to build our economy that way.
The infrastructure economy is increasingly becoming one of the most key sectors with its vast potential. For KwaZulu-Natal, this means economic growth, job creation, skills development, and investor attractiveness. According to the South African government, during the 2025 State of the Nation address, South Africa committed to spending 940 billion rands on infrastructure over the next 3 years. With South Africa's current economic climate, it is clear that the infrastructure sector is now seen as one of those which could desperately help the economic tide in turning it around. Steve Bengu, KZN.